Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JJ and Pug Show. It is November 6th, 2024. This is the part 2 of the podcast, and this is your submission.
Dude, I love this song right now. And I don't know what it is. It's been out for a while, but it's just, when I'm riding on the Harley, dude, this song is on.
Of course you are. And
dude,
this is what the song is. We Ride. 100%. When you say we're riding on a Harley, I'm like, oh, tracks.
Dude,
this is
so good.
Bryan Martin. We Ride.
And credit to my girls. They are the ones that introduced me to this stuff because they know it's taken some time because Allie will send me some stuff and I'm like, yeah. But she knows I like things with a beat to it and whatnot. And they love this music.
It's got a slow beat.
Like it's just like cruising down on a Harley, dude. You're just cruising, dude.
Definitely something that I do not know because I do not ride.
Oh, it's so much fun, dude. I love it. It's a great song.
Okay, that's a conversation we'll get another time. Because I have things I would say to you off air about that.
About what?
About riding.
Oh, don't want to ride?
No, I don't want to die. Because it does not matter how good a rider you are. It's the other people on the road that will kill you, and they will not do it with malice. They'll do it because they don't pay attention.
Well, true, but there's things you can do to help yourself. This is my favorite part here. Straight lines, rub, and 2 nickels, just trying to make a dime.
Yeah, I saw that line too when I was watching. I'm like, it's pretty solid. That's a good one. That's a pretty solid lyric right there. But no, I'll tell you, and I've been extensively trained on a motorcycle, so it's different, and I get that. But I feel safer on the bike than I do in a car. Oh yeah,
but there are certain things that you can do to make yourself better, right? For any of you riding, if you're ever on the freeway or in any lane, you should never be in the right lane ever. You should always be in the farthest left lane. One, on a city street, no one's pulling out in front of you from a private drive right away, right? So you've got that. On a freeway, you've only got one way that they can come over on you. And if you ride, and depending on what track you ride in, there's a left track and a right track. You can give yourself extra space in your lane if you're in the right track, because if somebody comes over on you, you've got the whole middle, the left track, and the shoulder if you really have to, right? So you can give yourself some outs, and then when it's time to exit the freeway, when it's a half a mile away, that's when you make your way over. There's no reason to be like I all the time coming home. You see these guys in the middle of like the number 4 lane on their motorcycle. You're like, what are you doing?
That doesn't make sense for many reasons.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, like you're just asking for problems. You can be in the HOV lane.
The HOV lane.
Get in the HOV lane.
You can be there.
Yeah.
Which is very funny because HOV, high occupancy vehicle, we allow single vehicles to be over there.
Tesla, electric vehicles, and motorcycls.
Anyway, all right. Well, we are officially past the halfway point in the NFL season.
Yeah.
The FNL. So, I mean, literally, week 9 is over. And you know what's crazy? Doesn't it feel like football just started? Like we're just now getting an idea of what these teams are all about.
And
that's
you
almost
know
over.
Who's the most impressive? And I hate it. I'm gonna throw up saying it, bro. I don't want to say it. They're maroon and gold, bro. And it is just that god awful Redskin commander color. But, dude, they're going to win the NFC East.
I was thinking like, I wouldn't say that those are the Chiefs colors, but I guess.
No,
maybe the Chiefs are the only undefeated team left.
Right, but when you look at like Jaden Daniels, dude, like
it's impressive.
I hate it. I got a buddy, Dave Stopke, I don't know if he listens to this or not, but he is a diehard Commanders, Redskins,
Washington football team,
whatever you want to call yourself, fan, right? In fact,
really hate that they've made it that so muddy. Like I don't even know what to call.
I just call them Redskins anymore. I don't care. So he is a Redskins fan. His wife's a Cowboy fan, and apparently they have a bet where, like, my understanding is when they play each other, whoever wins, the other one has to wear the helmet around for like the other helmet around the house or whatever. So it's funny. But they, dude, I can't deny it. Like that, they're finding ways to win football games, and it's out of control.
It is impressive. I remember when they came through and absolutely, washed the floor with the Cardinals. Even in games where they can't, like when they played the Bears. And they won on a Hail Mary?
A Hail Mary tip ball.
Yeah. They find a way to win. They're just doing it.
And don't get me wrong. For me, they're not my team. I see them being a threat, like a sleeper threat, right? Because you can say what you want about the Chiefs. They're obviously undefeated. The refs are on their side. They usually play 13 against 11. I
love how so many people say that. I have said, my brother, my neighbor. I get so many people that send me these like clips that were like, this should have been called holding. Like literally every single game. Every game you watch will have multiple instances of this.
It's not even the holding special. For me. It's the guy. There is a guy. Their right tackle is
Juwan
offsides
Taylor is
a
not
lot.
good.
But dude, he is offsides a lot. He jumps
yes.
and he lines up offsides, not a line of scrimmage, and then he always is
He's a false start almost every time.
Quarter second ahead of everybody, and they don't call it. But when you watch it back on replay at full speed, it's so obvious. But they don't.
I will
call
say
it.
this: there have been multiple times in which I've watched Juwan Taylor, the right tackle for the Chiefs, and I've been like, dude, they are paying that guy a ton. That's like $20 million a year. He is barely above replacement level. He is not good.
I know.
I will also say this: I've watched multiple games in which I visually, with my eyes, say that's false start. Not getting called on multiple teams.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. They're letting those tackles get an
like
immediate
an extra
jump.
Step.
Yeah, it's.
Which is huge when you're coming off the line.
Huge.
An extra step back, giving you to set yourself.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a reason why they're doing it. The reason why they're taking that half-second jump is because that guy coming at him is a freaking track athlete that's also happens to be the size of, Jupiter's third moon coming right at you to get around you. Like, it's you have to get as much of an extra jump as you can.
And I get it, right? So, like, we had a coach when I was in school. We pride ourselves on going on the not the right? Hut is one word. So we would go down and if you do it as a team, you can significantly get a jump on the defense. I mean, we did it, bro. I could show you film all day on it, but that's because we practiced over and over again of not waiting until you hear the and a delay. Like, it was literally on the everybody was moving.
Right.
So that would be different. But when you got one guy anticipating everything, there's nothing wrong with anticipating the snap count and all being on it together, and the quarterback saying it the same way every time. I get all that.
But when it looks like a wave,
it's all jacked.
Yeah.
But all right, so if I had to pick one team right now that is hands down the most impressive,
it's Detroit Lions.
Absolutely.
The Detroit Lions.
And I am like so excited for Detroit fans. I will never wear a Detroit jersey.
Hold no grudge.
I would wear a Dan Campbell shirt because I'm a big fan of him, but I don't care about the Lions. Like, who cares? But dude,
I don't care about the Lions.
I'm happy. I am happy as heck for that freaking community, that the wave of people that have been suffering for longer than the Cowboys fans have.
Dude, they've literally never been to the No, they've never been to a Super Bowl.
They were last in the playoffs in like 93.
Yeah, they've never. No, they were in the playoffs. They beat you guys.
Just recently?
Yeah, like
the
Calvin Johnson play
until last year. No,
Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson beat you guys.
Then what was the big sting? Was it the NFC Championship game? That's the first time they've been to since like the 90s.
Yes.
So
the first time they've been to an NFC Championship game.
Because Stafford got him into the playoffs, I think, a handful of times.
A couple of times. Yeah.
But yeah, so when you see a team like, I don't think they've ever been to the Super Bowl.
No, they've never been to a Super Bowl.
You've got a fan base that's just chomping at the bit here, and the fact that he was, when we talked about this, how ridiculed he was.
Oh, dude, people are making
all
fun
the
of
stuff, and now you're like, oh, he's got his crap together, bro. Like, I want to go play for him.
Yeah, guess who was right? Dan Campbell was right,
and
it's always kind of crazy to me that when you get an alpha male like Dan Campbell talking about football, like Ron Wolfley loves to call it the blood sport. So like when you get an alpha male big dude like Dan Campbell get up there and talk about how you got to play it that way, and people will make fun of them and say, "Oh, we don't play the game that way." It's like that's how you play football. Football is not basketball. It's not baseball, right? It is truly. This dude wants to take you out.
It's arguably not like fighting's the most manly sport you can do, but football is. In its right own next way, to it's up there because your whole goal is to. I mean, even though you can't, but my whole goal was to put the quarterback in a hospital.
Well, my whole goal was to put the guy on the ground.
You want to own him,
yes. And there's no better feeling than when you do it. And there's no worse feeling than when it happens to you. There's no worse feeling than when you get absolute. Because even if you didn't get hit straight on, when you get a crackback or an ear hole, dude, it is demoralizing.
Like that clip I sent you with the guy. That was cool sportsmanship, but he knocked that dude on his head. All he did was put his hands out like this.
Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson, left guard for the Colts. He's a beast. He's a beast. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. It is crazy the dominance with which the Lions are playing. I just watched the Lions-Packers game yesterday because there's nothing on. And I was like, okay, because I'm not going to watch the election coverage at 6 in the afternoon. Like, nobody else was going. Anyway, so, and I'm just watching it. I'm like, dude, the Lions are monsters. They are monsters right now.
Really well.
And I really hope they are not peaking too early. I really hope for Detroit. Because, and I can say this, I think the Cardinals are better than what we said they were going to be at the beginning of the season.
They've come out. They're starting to play a little bit.
And if there's anything that 2007, 2008 has taught me, it's that you just need to get into the playoffs. Once you get in, anybody can win because every football game is truly
any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Any team, any Sunday.
Game, yep.
Yep. So every team can win. So holding that in the back of my head of saying if the Cardinals actually do get there, then I want them to win. If I had to pick any other team to win, I'm picking the Lions.
Dude, again, not because I'm a Lions fan. I just want to see Dan Campbell win.
Not just that, but like that whole team, that whole organization has sucked my entire life. And the only time in which there was glimmers of hope was when Barry Sanders was running the ball and when Calvin Johnson was catching it.
But they weren't even
never got anywhere.
They were just good players on the team.
They were generational talents. Individually, I mean, Matthew Stafford was also pretty amazing at that time. That clip you sent where he threw it with like his dislocated shoulder.
Left shoulder. Yeah,
it's
out.
Yeah, still threw the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
But even still, it's like those two guys, Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, were generational talents, and even they couldn't handle the losing. Both of them retired early, like I wouldn't say in their prime, at the tail end of their prime maybe, but they were still, lighting the league up, and they said, "I can't do this anymore. I'm out."
Yeah, like when you're a receiver and your name is Megatron,
that's so cool.
That's a pretty legit thing for people who understand Transformers.
Exactly. And it was like at the time when Transformers had just come out. I mean, to call this guy the evil Transformer, that's pretty legit, dude.
Yeah, like I mean, I would have tattooed that on me somewhere, bro. Like it would have definitely like the logo of a Decepticon.
The Decepticon, yes.
You have to at that point.
Dude, I'd get it right there on my neck, baby.
I mean, no mistaking it at all.
Yes, there is never that is like the most quintessential neck tattoo, Decepticon, right there, dude.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Finishing up my arm. I'm so excited.
You're just gonna, how are you gonna tip the guy?
He owns the shop.
So are you gonna tip him?
No.
We talked about this, dude.
I know.
You're stuck in that spot,
If you
man.
own the shop, my understanding is you don't have to. Because he's literally the owner. He moved out of the place he was kind of sharing with a guy.
Yeah.
I'll find out. I'll be sitting with him for 8 to 10 hours tomorrow. And he said he'd tell me all about what happened. So I'm like, all right, but I'm just curious because they were like a real close friendship.
Oh yeah, bro.
But it takes that. Like you can do one in an hour. And it looks like, depending on what it is, but it's going to be a play, like a whole like thing, dude. You'll see it. It'll be really cool.
Yeah. All right. I just,
anyway,
again, reason 8,902, like why I don't want to have a tattoo with like 8 hours.
That's
not
nothing,
even under
bro.
anesthesia.
No,
you just sitting there.
Yeah, I'll have a portable charger for my phone, and we'll just kind of like watch him show. He'll put a movie on the TV, and you just kind of watch it. Most of the time, you're just getting to know, like talking to each other about just life, like kind of like this, right?
Yeah,
we can sit here for 8 hours and talk. Like literally, I think
I'll tell you this right now,
could.
JJ. If we had 8 hours dedicated, hey, we would do what we did at the lake. And that would not be sitting for 8 hours the entire time. It'd be getting up. Hey, let's play some testicle toss right now. By the way, guys, ladder ball for those of you who do not know, it's a very fun game.
They were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean,
did he just say testicle toss?
I had to catch myself. Like, wait a minute.
Is that a Ron?
Dude,
Grandpa Ron?
Dude's talking about their time at the lake. Oh, we're gonna play some testicle toss. Not that.
So glad this is a sports episode because this is totally relevant. Testicle toss, ladder golf.
Testicle toss is a game.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
It's a sport. I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to let that sit.
For the record, you play with 4 people, so there's plenty of testicle tossing to go around.
I'm not even going to explain it.
If you don't know,
let that one linger.
Yeah, if you don't know, you just Google it. Don't Google ladder golf.
No, let it linger. Let it linger. You gotta let it linger, because you got to let it linger.
Wow, this just went off the rails completely.
Yeah. So speaking of, I'm just gonna go off the list here. It's not exactly in any order.
No, it's fine.
I have heard so much talk about this guy entering into the MVP race of the NBA season.
Bronny. Oh no,
hey, he scored some points. But when I see that, I'm like, dude, it is November. We are barely like 2.5 weeks into the season, and we're already talking about MVPs? Guys, we don't even know what team's good. Some teams have gotten off to a good start. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, teams can start out real like 20, win the first 25 of 30, and then lose the next 60.
Yeah, I mean, how many times the last 2 seasons the Utah Jazz have got off to these great starts and ended as one of the worst teams in the league? So that doesn't mean anything. We can't be talking about the MVP race right now.
Who did they say?
So one of the ones that they were talking about, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, with Oklahoma City, which he was a guy they were talking about from the beginning. But I can't remember who it was that they were saying is this person just entered into the MVP race, so their odds are this. I'm like, dude, damn. The fact that
explain how.
It's just like, how come we're taking bets on this crap so early? I mean, I know Vegas is in the job of just taking your money. They're not in the business of giving it. Like, they want to take as much money as they can. But at the same time, it's like, dude, we don't know anything right now. If you, as a Homer fan, want to throw some money down on your favorite player for the team, say, hey, this is going to be the MVP. Whatever. You know what I mean? That's your money to lose. At the beginning
of the year, you're like, yeah, I'm going to put $100 down on this dude to win.
Yeah.
You know, he's my dude, whatever. Let's see what happens, right? If he wins, cool. At this point, I'd win, $100,000. Sure. I get it.
Yeah. But
you can't
if we're talking about this on Sports Talk Radio, and if we're talking about this on, like, legitimate, like, national podcasts, like, pump the brakes, guys. We don't need to be talking about MVP races 2.5 weeks into a 6-month-long season. The season doesn't end until the middle of April. Like, maybe we can start talking about it in February. Maybe at the end of January. But up until that point, holy crap, man, there's a lot that's got to go down. So, I got that off my chest. Next thing was, how many times, or can you think of any specific trade that in the moment, when it happened, you thought, oh my gosh, man, I'm so excited this trade happened. I'm so fully on board. I back my team 100%. Management figured out what they're doing. But then it turned out to be a catastrophic, terrible trade. Like, it did not work out in any way for you.
In the NBA or just in general?
Just in general. Like, think of your favorite team. Because I specifically was thinking of one.
Ton.
There is one that happened. This was in, I can't remember the year. I'll say 2016. I can't remember the exact year. The Diamondbacks had just signed Zach Greinke to the richest individual contract the Diamondbacks have ever done. Still, to this day, the richest contract they've ever signed a player to. Absolutely blew everybody's mind. So they spent $206.5 million on Zach Greinke. It was absurd. But he was also coming off an insane year. So what they did that year is they had the number 1 overall draft pick in the MLB, which is kind of like one of those things where, like, it's not like in football or basketball where, like, having the number 1 pick is like, oh man, this is going to be amazing. It's not often that a number 1 pick in baseball works out.
It's not often that a number 1 pick works out in general.
No, that's true. That's true.
It really doesn't. Like, I mean, the odds are not that great. You can go through a whole, like, especially a quarterback overall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because they usually do the wrong thing and they throw him in there, right? Like, you can think of, I mean, I get Matt Leinart right off the top of my head as the first one to come in. Boom. You know, like.
Well, he's a 10th.
But he's still, I guess you're right. He wasn't exactly a first.
But yeah, the number one, but you're 100% right.
Yeah, like
number 1 is not a guarantee.
No.
It's a hope. It's a big hope. And you hope, and you want to believe it is a hope with a high probability.
Right.
But anyway, so they had the number 1 overall pick. And what they did is they ended up trading him and their previous the first round pick. His name was Touki Toussaint. That's an amazing name. How do you forget that name? Touki Toussaint. And
how do you find that name? Like, how do you come up with that name?
So, I don't know. I want to say he was from Florida. So I'm guessing his family's probably from Haiti.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they traded him and Dansby Swanson, who's the guy that ended up taking as the number 1 overall pick, to the Atlanta Braves for Shelby Miller, a young pitcher at the time who was having a good career. He had had a really bad season win-loss wise, but overall, like, most of the statistics were like showing, hey, this guy's pretty dang good. Guy had a really good fastball. If I remember, has a pretty good splitter. Point I'm trying to make is, in the moment, I looked at this and said, we're trading 2 complete unknowns. You have no idea whether Touki Toussaint or Dansby Swanson is going to turn out to be anybody. For this guy who's been in the league for like 3 years and has 3 years of history show, he's actually pretty good. He doesn't have a lot of wins for a baseball, stat for a pitcher,
right?
But that's because he played on a pretty bad Braves team. Could not have been a worse trade. Absolutely blew up in the Diamondbacks' face. Dansby Swanson went on to be an all-star level shortstop for the Braves, signed a massive deal with the Cubs. Touki Toussaint's still in the league, but he's not much. And Shelby Miller, I kid you not, bro, he started having the weirdest mechanical issues with his pitch, to the point where when he was throwing, he was extending his arm so much he could not stop scratching his hand on the ground. Like, his mechanics went all off the board.
That's weird.
Completely forgot how to pitch. Became an absolute terrible investment in the Diamondbacks. Blew up in our faces. Anyway, that came up, and I can't remember. It was that trade, and I started thinking about, like, what would it be like? How do you think the Jets fans feel with trading to get Aaron Rodgers and trading to get Devontae Adams if this completely blows up? Like, because I know in the moment, I'm sure all those fans were like, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah. Our time.
Now, they did win Thursday night, so that was the day that I was thinking about it. Right. So it's kind of a little bit late now. But even still, there's no chance. There's no guarantee that they're going to even make the playoffs.
No, not at all.
Like, what are they, 3-6 or something like that right now? So, but, I mean, do you have any other time where you could think of, like, hey, my team, we made this move. It was a great move. I can't believe we did this. And then find out, like, we absolutely just hamstrung ourselves. Like, we handcuffed our hands to a freaking
think of it
anchor.
Right now, actually. It's that we gave two guys like record deal contracts this year, and they freaking haven't done nothing for us. In fact, we paid them so much that we couldn't even do anything in the offseason. We didn't do anything for the trade deadline. Yeah, I think you're just doing this to piss me off. I think you're just trying to get me fired up because you know I go here right now.
I did not think you were going this way.
Gosh, dude. Yeah, I can think of it right now, Eric. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so that is not the route I thought you were going to go. I was just thinking
no, I don't know, dude. There's plenty to do. I mean, you can look at it all across the board, I think. But, I mean, the problem is this one right now is so fresh because I just watched a whole thing with if how much money we can save next year if we restructure Dak's contract, if we restructure CeeDee Lamb's contract and Zach Martin's contract,
cooked, man.
And you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna free up $100 million in cap space then if we do that and that. I'm like,
yeah, and if you do all that, when they actually have to pay those guys, you're screwed. You become the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are in that boat right now. There is no move for them to be able to get out from underneath the cap crap that they push themselves in by constantly restructuring and pushing the ball down the road. Like, eventually you have to pay that money. Eventually you just have to do it. And the problem with I can't stand all of the juggling of trying to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Justify what the Cowboys did this offseason. You cannot, to any level, convince me you could not have afforded Derrick Henry. And you cannot. $8 million.
No, and look what he's doing.
Yes, he's the lead in the league right now in rushing because he's not human. At his size and his ability to dominate is unreal. We've talked about it at length.
Mistake one. The other mistake is you have a 6-time champion who wants to coach.
Who wants to coach.
He's at like a high school right now. He wants to coach. And you could have picked up him and Derrick Henry for under $10 million, I bet.
And you decided instead, let's stick with the status quo. Let's bring back Ezekiel Elliott, who, by the way, got benched.
And he's not
conduct.
And I think he's out. Like, I think he's done. I think I read something just the other day that he's not going to be playing. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is.
He's not any good. That's what's wrong.
Of course,
he's not good. And so one of my favorite things that you've mentioned a couple of times about this is the fact that you're still paying him from his last contract in addition to his new contract. He's not any good. He's cooked. He's no good anymore.
Which is crazy because he's younger than Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Well, some of those guys, I don't know. They just. Derrick Henry's not human.
I know, but
he's
like
a freak.
The fact that Derrick Henry's been in the league for what?
Same amount of time. I'd say the same amount of time, right?
I don't know. I think Derrick Henry's a little older.
I know. Oh, how old is Ezekiel?
He came out in like 2016, 2017.
Ezekiel. I don't know why I just said that. Ezekiel Elliott. Here, let's check it up here. I'm going to look up some football reference, okay? Typing up on my tablet is not near as easy for me, though. Oh, my gosh. Why can't I type? All right, so
Derrick Henry's 30.
Okay, so Derrick Henry's 30. Ezekiel Elliott. What year did he come into the league?
Well, I want to say 2015.
Because Zeke, according to this, Zeke came into the league in 2016 at 21 years old, and right now he is 29. And Derrick Henry came into the league in 2016 at the age of 22, and he is now 30. They came into the league at the same year. They've played the exact same amount of professional years. Derrick Henry's 1 year older and worlds better than Zeke is.
And what's crazy is Zeke was good at one point.
He was.
He was a phenomenal running back when he was with the Cowboys to begin with.
The start he was. And there's something about Derrick Henry's size that allows him to continue to be dominating like that. Yeah. And if you're Zeke and you're trying to play the same style, I don't know what it is. People are. I'm just going to go ahead and land on the end. Derrick Henry's a freak. He just is a freak. But the fact that you paid record amount of money to CeeDee Lamb, I don't think is the problem. It's that you paid record money to Dak Prescott, who you didn't have to pay record money to. Yeah, do you think if you go into the open market, he'd make that money at the end of the season? No, I don't think you do either. And I think if you, I know,
especially not now.
No, definitely not now. Definitely not now. But I think if you're the Cowboys and you said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to play this year. You know, Dak, we're going to go ahead and re-sign you. But for this year, we need to sign Derrick Henry. So can you Just deal with the media that's going to be constantly asking you about your contract, because that's going to happen. Constantly asking, as long as it means that we can double down and we can go and sign Derrick Henry and we can go and sign, I don't know, insert name of other player that they could have got, instead of worrying about trying to pay Dak record amount, what is it, $60 million a year at the end of his contract? It's insane. He's not playing for a while because apparently his hamstring tear is pretty bad.
Cooper Rush is going to be our savior.
Let's go.
Cooper Rush is our Donald Trump.
He is definitely like the number one guy with the best Gatorade name.
Oh, yeah, Cooper Rush.
Could you imagine drinking some Cooper Rush?
That'd be great. I don't even No, you did not.
I set you up.
You did.
I set you up.
I don't like
I didn't. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Edit.
All I'm saying is, dude, I do not envy. Oh, you going to be with us, baby? All right. Say bye, mama. So we're going to have to end this up with, well, I mean, come here, Rhea. You want to be on the camera? Look. Look. You can see yourself on the camera right there. Right there. Right there. Let's move you onto this side. Anyway, we're going to have to finish up. Kids got to go to soccer practice. Schlee's taking them. So I don't know how much we want to deal with Rhea sitting here. As long as she's quiet, I guess we can keep talking.
Let's talk about real quick. Let's just talk about the Kelce thing. I think that's important.
Oh,
that's a big deal. Then we can wrap it up and call it good. Because
I also want to make sure I give.
It's been 24 minutes. Or whatever.
I want to make sure I also give some flowers to my Cardinals. All right,
that's fine. Go ahead. Well, get that out of the way so I can throw up.
I'm just saying. I think the Cardinals are not the greatest team in the NFL. What I do think that they are is a team that will not fold. They are a team that, like this last Sunday. People talk about Kyler Murray not playing well. He didn't have to do anything. They ran the ball with absolute
what Kyler
freedom.
Murray needs.
Exactly.
That's what he needs.
And I think that's what every quarterback wants.
He can't be the guy with the ball in his hand throwing the ball 50 times a game. He just can't.
No, and you don't want him to be that guy. And if every team is being honest, nobody wants their quarterback to be that guy. Yeah. Right? Watch, baby. No, I'm talking right now, but you can talk in a little bit, okay? So Kyler Murray didn't have to do anything. And if you were to look at my fantasy league, you've realized he didn't do anything. I got crushed because Kyler Murray didn't have to do crap.
I think you're like 1-8.
Dude, I am not doing well. Yeah. I'm so glad that we did not come up with punishments for this league.
Oh, we have one.
No, I didn't agree to crap.
It doesn't matter.
No.
In the league, you're subject to any kind of penalties.
My penalty is that I'm losing my $20.
I'm the commissioner. No, I'm the commissioner. You're subject to fines, fees, there's like all kinds of whatever that NFL thing says.
I signed nothing. Anyway, the fact that all three running backs were running wild. We had 3 rushing touchdowns, plus a field goal, plus a safety. Like, dude, and the freaking Bears fell apart. Did you see that pick, that play where DJ Moore literally just walked off the field in the middle of the play and did not come back on? He'd given up. The team had given up. Caleb Williams did not look great. I mean, he was rushed a lot by one of the worst pass rush teams in the league. Yes, baby. You can see yourself right there. Yeah, there's you in the camera. But anyway, that's enough. I would have more to say, but the fact that I got a child on my lap kind of limits my ability. But let's talk about Jason Kelce.
All right. So for those who don't know, right, he's walking out of something.
He's walking out. It's a college game day type thing. He's going to watch a game. He's going to watch a college football game.
And there's a comment made about Kelce and Taylor Swift is what my
some guy says something. Some kid, just a freaking idiot, like the definition of everything that's wrong with society, has his phone out.
Warrior.
Yes, but I'll say this: he actually did it in person. But the fact is, he thought he didn't get, was going to have anything happen to him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because he's so protected. Like, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, because I got a camera out here. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, "Yo, Jason, how do you feel about your brother being a?" Well, this doesn't work over here. I was going to do the bleep button, but it doesn't work on this side. A bleep because he's dating Taylor Swift. And if anybody knows this, Jason and Travis are quite close.
Yeah.
They're pretty close brothers. So Jason does, in my opinion, the most justifiable thing in the world and turns around, grabs the dude's phone, and spikes it in the concrete.
Like
and
a
destroys
football
it.
In the end zone.
Yeah, just owns it. And that was the clip that you and I saw ended. Apparently, he went back and yelled at the guy. Like, he had some words. What's wrong with you? You want some of that? He had words with him.
Which is fine. I'm like, dude, it's what you get. You can't. We've gone away from this idea of like whatever happened to like, you know what? Sometimes you just need to be punched in the mouth.
Yes, this is a prime example. That is a example.
That kid, if Jason Kelce would have just cocked back and boom, right, and then when the kid tried to go after Kelce for the crowd, the judge is like, you put a phone in his face and said some stuff. What did you expect to happen? Case dismissed. Oh my gosh, dude.
What is one of the most like common phrases right now in our society? F around and find out.
Yeah.
That's the definition of it. Listen, you went up against a Hall of Fame center, talked crap about his brother, and expected nothing to happen.
Quite honestly, you got off really lucky.
You got off so easy.
Yeah, I feel like he could have just, because that kid was a skinny little tall kid.
Yeah.
Dude. If he was just to have impact, push, or pass block him, it'd have been over.
He'd have been done with.
He'd have been on the back of his head, dude. It'd have been bad.
Dude, he had a Quentin Nelson to that guy, man.
So, the question comes up, should he apologize?
You know how I stand. I say
think
absolutely not.
I think the apology is, let me punch you in the throat one time so you never do that to anybody else again.
Yeah, understand there are consequences for your actions, stupid kid. Like you decided to say something highly offensive and annoying at the least about to a guy about his brother who it's his daily life. What does that matter?
He would never say that to anybody at all.
No.
If he didn't think that he could get some kind of monetary adjustment for his pain
15
and
minutes of
suffering.
fame.
It's crazy because I would love to see him walk up to a dude that built like him on the street and just say some stuff like that
and expect nothing to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so anyway, apparently Jason Kelce did apologize.
I want
to say the reason why he apologized is not because of what he did. I think he apologized because of what he said. And apparently he used the same words the other kid used. And I think that's what he's apologizing for, right? He called that kid that word, which I'll tell you right now, I said that word probably every other word in high school.
Which word is it? What's it start with?
I'm not going to say it because I'm worried about getting canceled by somebody.
No, don't say it. Just what is it a...
It's a bundle. Literally, the definition was a bundle of sticks.
Okay.
So that's what it was. Okay. Like I said, it was. We all said it a million times in high school. None of us thought it wasn't ever something you said with any actual malicious intent. It was just what you said. Like, I don't know. Ray, will you please stop doing that, baby? I don't want you playing with my tablet like that, okay? Let's close it up. Anyway, that was all I got for you guys. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't either today. But
are you looking up the definition of bundle of sticks?
Absolutely.
I can tell you after we're done.
I know, but I didn't know I was hungry. Okay, so I thought that was a cigarette, but whatever. Like,
hey, that's also a cigarette in the UK.
If you would have said that, I would have known immediately. I've never heard the English translation of what that means.
Well, there you go.
Because we said that a lot. It was said all the time.
All the time.
It was the like of our word for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. So that's what he's apologizing because now in 2024, that's going to get you canceled, right? And I'm not saying that we were right to use the word with impunity like we did. At the same time, though, did you ever really mean anything by it?
No, it was like calling somebody stupid.
Yes, it's exactly what it was. It was just, I don't know.
It was like calling somebody a bundle of sticks.
Exactly. Yes, Ray.
Oh, man.
Why are you hitting your eye? You want to tell everybody that you're wearing a pretty princess outfit? You don't want to say it? Say, who are you? Are you Elsa? That's it, guys.
She's done.
Yeah, she's finished. She doesn't like the spotlight when the microphone's in her mouth. Right? Did you want to say something, baby? Can you say bye-bye?
No.
All right. Stay fresh, you cheese bags.
Like Lexi and Dodgeball. We're out.
Suck it, Lexi! You out!
The JJ and Pug Show theme song was written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Special thanks to Highland Communities for all the support given to our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show podcast wherever you do listen to podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember to share the show with your friends and family and subscribe wherever you do listen. If you're able to, please feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That is ko-fi.com/the patreon.com/The JJ and Pug Show. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, whether that is by simply listening, whether that is sharing it with a friend, or giving us that sweet, sweet cash. We truly appreciate it all. Thank you so much.